Have you noticed those days where you wake up in the morning and you almost like just spring out of bed? You kind of move into that flow, and everything seems to have its own momentum, it seems to have its own flow. And kind of whatever you do, it seems to kind of just gravitate towards, the most amazing things kind of appearing into your world and into your life. And you kind of got this sense of kind of gravitational pull to that, and it all seems to flow. And then you kind of wake up another day. You wake up another day, and it's almost, or even the next day, and you wake up, and it's almost like it's got this kind of dark cloud on the day, this kind of heavy energy to the day, and you kind of feel completely opposite. It's like whatever you do seems to have a resistance to it, but then you kind of sit there and go, how comes yesterday was the most amazing day and today just feels the complete opposite to that? What is going on? And I hear many people say, oh, spirit, it's your fault. Why aren't you not helping me? Why aren't you not supporting me? Why are you not guiding me? And they're standing there right beside you. And the only difference, in fact, between that day there and this day now, absolutely, is you. It is all you. Now, a lot of people are going to say, no, that's not the case. This person is done me this wrongdoing today, and this situation's happened, and this situation's happened, and absolutely, yes, that's true. However, it's how we interact with that situation. It's how we kind of engage with that situation, how we're kind of moving into that situation defines the kind of energy around it, and in some ways can define the outcome of that situation as well. Quite often, we are the architects of our own lives, and we have this silent architect that in many ways is co-creating the experiences, co-creating the world around us through purely how we engage with the world. And I say quite often, I hear so many people say, oh, spirit, you're not supporting me. They were supporting you yesterday. I don't doubt that, sometimes, they nudge us and they test us. Some of the most amazing healers, the most amazing people of service in this world have gone through huge adversity. It's through the adversity that we learn the empathy and the tools to be of service and be able to really help. But I kind of also kind of feel, that quite often you imagine this, that spirit is saying to you, at this point within this situation, you get this nudge, this kind of feeling, this knowing that we need to go left and we need to kind of then go right. And we go against the grain of it. So if we're going against the grain of it, we're going against the grain of the flow. And I kind of believe that that's where that kind of silent subconscious is really, really powerfully generating our experience, because quite often, people do have the most amazing day, and then there's almost like this sense of kind of sabotage that can creep in subconsciously, and the next day can completely be the opposite. And you kind of get that feeling that it never all quite comes together, it never all quite becomes whole. And I kind of have this belief that underneath all of that, the silent partner, silent architect, absolutely, the subconscious is kind of undoing the good of the day before. So what I'm kind of saying to you is become mindful of kind of what's going on underneath the surface. What is the undercurrent that's going on in there? Because quite often people go, oh, this is too good to be true. Okay, you've had a run of amazing things happening, and then you say, oh, this is too good to be true, and then the kind of doubt starts to creep in, the fear starts to creep in, the subconscious begins to fire up and then starts to undo that. The silent partner, the silent architect. I believe we are the architect of our lives. I believe that is how we engage the situations around us, that define often the outcomes. I quite often say to people, you know, we do know the answers deep within inside of us. We know how to guide ourselves. We have a guidance system, but we've kind of lost that kind of connection to that space within inside of us. And I often say to people, I invite people, I say, you know what, when you wake up in the morning, you know, imagine if you were your best friend, what would you say to your best friend? And people say, well, that would be quite easy, you know, it seems quite easy to guide another but not guide ourselves. And that is that kind of subconscious, that self-sabotage that can often creep in. And one of the techniques that I encourage my clients is to, when they wake up, kind of take a moment, get a piece of paper, get a pen, and if you were your best friend, what would you say to yourself today? Write yourself a letter. Write yourself a letter. You'll start to tap into that inner guidance system, and then you can take that a step further. Grab the letter, look at the mirror, read it out loud to yourself, and you'll probably find that you begin to find the answer to those challenges that you're in right now within your life. Very simple yet very effective technique. So we are our own architects, we are co-creating. So the next time that you're kind of moving with a lot of flow in your life and everything's kind of really magical and it's happening, a lot of great things are appearing, and you kind of wake up the next morning with that kind of heavy feeling, that feeling of kind of anxiety drawing in, just remember that it's not spirit. They're not bringing in, you know, they're not supporting you. Just take a moment, just pause there and kind of tap into what's going on under the surface. You know, is there a fear coming up? Is there kind of an emotion coming up? What have we dislodged? What's going on around us? And just take those pauses before we then engage into our day, before we kind of get the momentum and traction for the day, because kind of how we start the day off is normally going to set the precedent for the rest of the day. So, you know, just take a pause, take a moment, kind of get a feeling of what's going on underneath. If we're kind of not sure, what would we say to our best friend? Write ourselves a letter. All these very simple yet effective techniques begin to kind of engage us that we are the ones that are kind of creating, co-creating, and we can indeed become the architect of our own lives.